Wow, well, it's a long time since early signing date. I think, we probably all need to adapt a little bit to, the changes and the landscape of college football and how it's changed now that the early signing date has kind of become the signing date. But we were really pleased and happy to, add, one player today, which was really kind of our goal. Danny Lewis, tight end. And then all the other guys that we, signed in December. I think the 23 guys that we signed in December that we're really, pleased and happy with. This is a culmination of a lot of hard work by a lot of people. First of all, our coaches did a great job of identifying some really character quality prospects who are good players, who have great upside, and who, fit, what we're looking for at the University of Alabama to develop personally, academically, and athletically into being as successful as possible, in all those areas. And, we recruit around here, with a sort of a team effort, and the university community, our administration, Dr. Bell, Greg Byrne, a lot of people in the university community, support and contribute academically, to helping us do a good job of representing the university in a first-class way, and the opportunities that these people, that our players have, academically. And we got a lot of people in our organization here internally that do a really, really good job of spending time and developing relationships, with recruits so that they feel at home and comfortable with, being a part of the University of Alabama program. So I think we satisfied some needs in this class. As you well know, there's a lot of rankings, there's a lot of ratings out there, but basically what we want our players that we recruit to focus on is their development. They certainly have the qualities that we look for to be outstanding football players, but we also want them to focus on, the right things. And, everybody wants to play. Everybody wants an opportunity to play. We give everybody an opportunity to play. But I think the key thing for players is, to stay focused on what they have to do to develop, so when they get an opportunity to play, they can take advantage of it. And so that's always, our goal. No matter how a player's ranked, whether it's the NFL draft where you get drafted, no matter where he's ranked, nobody has to live up to anything. What they have to do is say, I got an opportunity because of what I was able to accomplish and what I was able to do. Now the focus needs to be on, how am I going to take advantage of it and the opportunity that I have here. So we also added 3 transfer players, wide receiver Jermaine Burton, running back Jamar Gibbs, and cornerback Eli Ricks, who are all guys that I think are outstanding players and certainly can make a contribution, to our team in areas where we have needs. We've also added 3 new coaches. Coleman Hutzler will be the special teams coach. He's a defensive coach, so he'll actually do the special teams from the defensive side of the ball. Travaris Robinson will be secondary coach here, coach of cornerbacks, and Eric Wolford will be the offensive line coach. And all these guys have really good pedigree, really good background, really good experience. All these guys have been in the SEC at some point in time and know this league, and I think will make a really positive relationship, a positive effect by the relationships that they can build and develop, with our players on our team. So we're excited about having this new energy, this new enthusiasm to go along with the quality coaches that we have here in the program who did an outstanding job a year ago. So I want to thank everyone out there for all their hard work. I think it starts with the fans and the atmosphere and environment that they create in Bryant-Denny Stadium, which, is a part of the spirit that makes people want to be a part of the program here at the University of Alabama, and all the people, at our institution and the university community, as well as in the athletic department and the football program, who work so hard to make this happen.
Coach, we will get things started with Aaron Suttles. Aaron, go ahead.
I know you recruit as a program and everyone's involved, but Pete Golding seems to have a really good year recruiting. What's his ability, and what makes him so good to relate to student athletes and their parents?
I didn't quite.
Pete Golding had a good year recruiting. What makes him?
Yeah, well, I think Pete has a great personality. I think he spends a lot of time with players, and I think it's all about relationships. I know that we have a good product here. Pete does a great job of selling that product, but I think in the end, the players know that he cares about them. Players really don't know what you know until they know that you care. So, Pete's got a great personality. I think he really works hard at it. He's a really good coach, and he has a good relationship with the players on our team. And I think, when players talk to the players on our team, they sort of get that feedback, and that's all helpful in terms of, players feeling comfortable here, knowing that they have a good relationship with the coach that recruited them, but also with the coach that's going to coach them and a lot of the other people involved in the organization. So Pete does a good job of selling all those things in a positive way.
And we will go to Michael Casagrande next. Michael?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about NIL and this whole recruiting cycle. Do you have any, it's been 6-7 months since that rule passed. Do you have any suggestions or ideas for how those rules should evolve, given what's been the discussion lately?
Well, just philosophically, and this is a philosophical question, I think I've answered to your question, but I think players have always been able to work. I think it's a good thing that players now have an opportunity to work and make money through name, image, and likeness. I would hope that we come up with some system in the future where, and I'm not accusing anybody of anything, but I don't think players should make a decision about where they go to school relative to how much money they're going to make in name, image, and likeness. I think all the players on our team who made money in name, image, likeness this year, had representation on their own, and all those deals were created on their own based on their brand and what they did. There's nobody at this institution that had anything to do with any of that. I just don't think that somebody should pick a school because of the institution, the relationships that they have, how they can develop personally, academically, and athletically, and the kind of program that they have and the kind of institution that they want to go to. So I just hope that it doesn't get to where name, image, and likeness deals are created, for high school players to get them to go to a particular institution. And I'm not accusing anybody of that. I'm not saying anybody did that. That's not why I'm saying this. I'm just saying philosophically, I think it's great that players can earn the right to make money through name, image, and likeness when they're on a college team. I just hope it doesn't get to that point because then you open up, a whole new can of worms when it comes to recruiting.
We'll go to Charlie Potter.
Yeah, hey, Coach. Going back to the coaching staff for a second, with Sal Sunseri, is that a situation where he takes maybe an off-the-field role, and regardless of what his plan is for the future, just what's he meant to the program these last few years?
Well, Sal is going to be a special assistant to the head coach for me. I think there's a lot of things going on in college football. The landscape has changed dramatically. You guys all know that. Whether it's, the portal, having people on top of the portal, you almost need, a staff of people, just like you have a staff of people for recruiting to find out who the best players in high schools are. You also have to have people responsible to do evaluations in terms of, who's getting in the portal. And also tracking, how guys that get in the portal actually do. I think, it's a little bit of a fad right now to think that I get in the portal and all my issues and problems are going to be solved, but yet it'd be interesting to see how many people really benefit in a positive way from taking advantage of the opportunity to get in the portal, and we're going to track those kind of things. So, and Sal's going to be involved in a lot of those things, but he's going to be a special assistant to me to help me in a lot of ways in the changing landscape of college football.
We'll go to Mike Rodak.
Just with the NFL hiring cycle stretching into February now, and maybe some opportunities available for Bill O'Brien, just how do you approach that potentially if he does leave, if there's an opening on your staff in February?
Well, you're asking a hypothetical question. The only thing I would agree with you on is, the change in calendar for the NFL. It has sort of extended the time that people would have opportunities in the NFL. Even the Senior Bowl was pushed back a week. So this is the first time I didn't go to the Senior Bowl since I don't know when, because, there were things that we had to do here. I always meet with all of our players on our team on Monday and Tuesday before signing date, and I spend all day today talking to guys that we're going to recruit next year. So I didn't get to go to the Senior Bowl. So the new calendar, again, it's something that we all have to adapt to. But look, Bill's done a great job for us here, and Bill's had a very successful career. I don't think Bill's trying to leave. I think he likes it at Alabama, and we have an opportunity with some pretty good players at the quarterback position and other positions to maybe, continue to grow and develop, here offensively. And I think he's looking forward to that challenge. But saying all that to say this, I've always been one that guys work hard and do a good job for you. If they get opportunities to go someplace else, I want to support them and help them if it benefits them and their family. So, but, we have no indication of that other than what you all put on the internet right now, which is a lot of maybes. So we're not really trying to address something that might happen.
We'll go to Tony Scalise.
Hey, Nick, we haven't been able to ask you specifically about the transfers individually. What can you kind of break down each one and what they bring to the program, the 3 incoming transfers?
Jermaine Burton was somebody that we recruited out of high school that we thought was a really, really good player. He had a fairly productive, year at Georgia. They have a lot of good players at his position, and he had some production this year, but probably might have seen a better opportunity because we're a little bit more wide open and throw the ball more with a good quarterback. That may have been his intention, but we feel like we lost both starting receivers and Slade. 2 to the draft and Slade. So, to get a more experienced player that has some playing time in this league probably is a good thing for us, and we like his ability, and, hopefully he'll be able to be very productive for us. Gibbs was a very productive running back at Georgia Tech, very fast, very explosive guy, has really good hands. Actually practiced with us before the national championship game, and we were excited about the speed and explosiveness. He's a really good receiver. I think he can do a lot of positive things for us. Eli Ricks was a starting corner at LSU, hurt his shoulder last year, so he missed, I think, more than half the season. Obviously, both of our corners, Josh Jobe being a senior, Jaden Armour-Davis going out for the draft. Good opportunity for him, and certainly adds some experience and depth at that position for us. So all the guys have played well when they've played for their team, and we all thought that they would be positive additions to our team.
Okay, we got time for a couple more here. We'll start with Katie.
Coach, you mentioned signing Danny Lewis today and how it kind of met a position of need. How important was it for this class to go out and get a tight end to kind of close things out?
Yeah, well, really, we have a tight end. We have 13 guys that are here mid-year. One of them is a tight end. We have another guy that we list as an athlete that's probably a tight end. We really looked hard for guys that in this class that had really good senior years that maybe were a little late developing. And, we were really excited, about Danny, and we're happy to get him. And I think that, tight end is one of the positions that we have some need at. So to be able to get, 3 players in this class that have a chance to develop and maybe contribute is probably, a real positive for us, and we like all 3 guys.
Okay, we'll finish up with Taylor.
Hey, Hey, Coach. I was just wondering if you saw or if anyone showed you the video that was kind of going around of Brian Kelly dancing behind Danny Lewis when he was at LSU. Don't know if you saw it. It was really cringeworthy. It was all over the internet, and what you had to say about that. And if you had or hadn't seen it, just talk about Danny Lewis's character and kind of what you expect from him as far as that goes.
Yeah, well, I have not seen the video, but you know, I like to dance too. So I like the line dance, you know, do the Cupid shuffle or whatever they call it, and you know, all that stuff. And I usually do it in the house, you know, at our recruiting parties on Saturday night. Some of it ends up on YouTube, but you know, I mean, everybody's got their way to do what they do, whether it's in recruiting or how they run their program. And there's a lot of different ways to skin a cat. And, you know, it's not for me to judge, you know, anybody in terms of what they do. So, but, you know, I really like Danny. He's got a great family. You know, people in South Louisiana are great people. And, you know, he's been very successful as a basketball player. Excuse me, and was very productive this year as a football player. So he's got great size. I think he runs well. He's a good blocker. He's one of the guys that, you know, tight end is a position where it's used to be just when Ozzie Newsome played tight end, you just lined up by the tackle and put your hand in the dirt, and that was what tight end did. Well, now a tight end does that. He plays wide receiver, and he also plays H-back off the ball, which now is more like a fullback. So it's really hard to find guys that can do all those things. I think Danny has a chance to be a guy that can do those things, but most importantly, I think he's big enough to be an inline blocker, which is Cam Latu is a guy that has developed nicely at that position for us and can do these things, but we certainly need somebody young in our program that can do all these things as well.
All right, Coach, thanks for your time.
All right, thank you. Appreciate you.